guys, it's Gretchen and welcome back to my channel. So, it is time for my monthly Body Mods Q&A. Like every month, I take questions that you all ask of me, whether here on YouTube or over on Instagram, and I just kind of give my thoughts about them. These questions can range either from body mod questions specifically pertaining to myself or just in general, like my thoughts on certain body mods or my opinion on what someone might want to do regarding a body mod, things like that. So if you have a question for next month's body mod Q&A, leave them in the comments below or go follow me on Instagram, where I'll put up one of those little question boxes on my stories, usually a few days before I film, and you can ask there. So my goal for this body mods Q&A, because there are a lot of questions, my goal is to be very to the point on my responses, because sometimes I'm very long-winded when it comes to these responses. So I'm gonna try and be fast. We'll see how that goes. So let's go ahead and get started. Diamond Killer asks, how do I stretch up a cartilage piercing like an industrial? My piercing is at an 18 gauge. How do I stretch up to a 16 or 14? So I haven't really had any experience when it comes to stretching cartilage, so I'm not the best person to ask about that. However, I know people who have done this method, probably not the appropriate method, or maybe it is, I don't really know. But basically, if they just wanted to go up one size, they found a good piece of jewelry, so like glass or titanium or something good. I would go with glass because it just slides in easier. And they just basically would take the piece of jewelry, and I wouldn't say shove it through because it's not like a lobe and it's not going to expand, it's cartilage. But most of my friends have had good luck doing that. Actually, I only know of 2 people who have done this. One being my mom, and it was an accident. Basically, you just take the next size up jewelry, lube up your area, lube up the jewelry, and just kind of see if there's any resistance. If there's a ton of resistance, don't do it. Just kind of make sure that you're using the right jewelry and use a lot of lube. And if you're meeting a ton of resistance, stop. But again, I don't have any personal experience there, so can't really say too much. Holly Short asks, what's your opinion of industrial piercings? Do you know anyone with one? If so, what's their experience? Also, do you know anything about healing time? So I like industrial piercings. I just don't have one because it wouldn't really work well with my ears and their current setup. My best friend has her industrial pierced. She loves it. She does say sometimes it's a little temperamental, but what cartilage piercing isn't? As for healing time, I think it's on par with regular, other cartilage piercings. Like if you've got your helix pierced before, I think it's on par with that, though sometimes it can be more difficult since you are healing 2 at one time, since it is technically 2 piercings because the industrial is going through 2 holes. So sometimes it can take a little bit longer, but I would say that it's within that typical healing time for any cartilage piercing. Linda Pie says, I'm considering stretching my earlobes a couple sizes up. Would I really have to clean that every day for the rest of my life, as some people have told me? So this person is commenting about the supposed stench that comes along with stretched ears and how those who have said that you have to clean it every day for the rest of your life don't even have stretched lobes. I don't clean mine every single day. When I get in the shower, you know, soap gets in there, shampoo gets in there and cleans it out on its own. I have experienced the smell before. I'm pretty sure everyone at some point has, whether it was like during the process of like healing from a previous stretch or something like that, or just in general everyday life. Some people experience it more than others. Some people may never experience it. Basically, first of all, it's really not that much of an imposition to clean it. It's like with any of your other piercings, there is aftercare. Just take some, my personal favorite is Dr. Bronner's baby unscented soap. I use that on my tattoos, so I just put it on my lobes. Very nice, very gentle. I don't notice a smell anymore ever since I've stopped stretching. Like when I would first stretch up to a new size, like the first day or so afterwards, and I just imagine it's because it's like going through that stretch process, so it might be trying to heal itself or whatever. I don't know. So moral of the story, no, you don't have to clean it every day. Unless you're noticing it, like you are actually noticing the smell, then yeah, probably. Juliana Figueredo asks, I want to have a high forward helix done, but I am dependent on glasses and I'm worried it's not going to sit well for the first week or 2 of the healing process. Do you know anything about it? So when you say a high forward helix, do you just mean higher up? like in this area, because I've never heard it referred to it as that. I've just heard this area be forward helix. When I take my contacts out, I wear glasses every single night. I never noticed any issue because I guess, unless you're saying like the high forward helix goes on like the outer part of the ear, which I haven't been able to find any pictures if that's the case, because when I saw this question, I was like, I have no idea what high forward helix is. So unless it's like one that sits on top of your ear instead of like along this ridge right here, then I can see the glasses irritating it if it's up here. But if it's like regular forehead helix, let me show you over here, like this little area, if it's right there, the glasses don't bother it. At least I didn't think they did. Isa Sostilio says, I've had my vertical tragus sideburn piercing for over a year with no issues. For the last few months, I've been getting bumps almost right in the holes. They never really hurt, but they go away and come back. And the most recent one almost looks like a blood blister, and it's bleeding a lot and it's really sore. Anyone have any advice? Again, you need to be careful because it is a surface piercing. So surface piercings are notorious for not healing or even rejected more often than other piercings. Not to say that that's what's happening here. Something could be irritating it, so make sure that you're checking out anything that could potentially be irritating it. Do you use hairspray? Are you applying makeup? Are you brushing your hair and like the brush is accidentally hitting it or something? Are you exposing it to the sun too much? Sometimes that can cause issues. Just make sure that you're cautious and you're observant of various elements out there that may play a role in irritations. You say it doesn't hurt, it could just be a blood blister. I had a blood blister on a tragus. Long story short, I popped it. It healed, it was fine. Not the best advice, but just kind of consider what may be coming in contact with that piercing to cause it to flare up. Rin1601 asks, did you ever regret your Duff piercing? No, but there was a time where I wondered if it would ever heal and I hated it more than anything, but now I love it. So I wouldn't say I regret it, I just regret how its healing went down. Mrs. Man of Steel asks, if you went back in time and you could change, not get a tat or piercing, which one or ones? I don't think any of my piercings, like I regret getting, and so I probably wouldn't change it. I might think a little bit more about placement and everything like that. I was just kind of just going back and forth, alternating ears, getting things. So I don't think I would change anything about piercing wise. Tattoo wise, the ones that I copied from the internet when I was first getting into tattoos and things like that, yeah, I regret those, but they have since been covered up, so I don't regret them anymore. The only other one that I really kind of regret now is the first tattoo that I got, which is my book right here. It's facing the wrong way. That's the only thing I really regret. Michelle Geller says, recently I got my tragus and second helix. When will it be okay to stop cleaning them twice a day? Definitely wouldn't stop for the first 6 to 8 weeks. I would actually keep going with that momentum for 3 months. After that, if you notice that it seems to be doing well, maybe you can cut back to 1 at that time. That's usually around the time that I do. Really and truly with cleaning your piercings, it shouldn't be taking a whole lot of time to like actually do the act of cleaning. I think less about when can I stop doing it twice a day and more about, is this making my piercing happy? So if you notice that twice a day is too much and it's actually irritating it, cut back. Listen to your piercings, they will talk to you. Or they'll be little bitches and be like, you know what, guess on your own. Bree Rose asks, my parents think it's wrong for me to get pierced because it's not what God wants, but I'm almost 18 and can get any piercing at any shop on my own, and I already have a few. Thoughts? So there's a lot of elements in this question. I'll try and tackle them one at a time, more in depth with some than others. So the first thing, the easiest one to tackle is that you're almost 18 years old. When you turn 18 years old, you can do whatever you want. If you want to go get pierced, go get pierced. You don't need their permission at that point. If you're still under the age of 18 and they're saying no, you kind of have to listen to them because they are your guardians. But once you turn 18, you do you. As for the it's not what God wants thing, can't really speak to what God may want or what the Bible says or anything like that, just because I'm not well versed in it. So that's kind of all up to you based on your beliefs and your background. Same with your parents saying that they don't really like them, don't really approve of them because of that. You kind of have to look at your relationships, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings on the whole matter. This is a very personal thing, so look inward for answers to these types of questions. So I can't really provide you too much guidance on how to deal with your parents or like dealing with the religious aspect of it. But for the 18-year-old thing, once you're 18 years old, you can do what you want. Rabbit on Quack asks, how often can you change out your septum once you hit the mark for first jewelry change? Weekly? As long as you're not irritating your septum, change it out as often as you want. For a while there, I was changing mine out pretty much like every other day. Actually, I may have been changing it out twice a day because I was going from a horseshoe to like the little segment ring that I currently have in, because at work I thought I couldn't have the horseshoe, but then it came time where like no one even noticed my segment ring. So I was changing it out daily. It's all up to you. Just take note of your septum piercing. Make sure you're not irritating it and nothing's like flaring up there. Horse Mad Lily asks, thinking about getting my belly button pierced in the winter so it has time to heal. Any advice? So I'm the worst person to ask specifically about belly button piercings, but as for getting that one done in the winter, I think that's a great time to get it done. It's like you said, it gives it plenty of time to heal so that comes summertime, you know, it's all nice and everything. You don't have to worry about that whole don't get in the water thing because no one's really getting in the water in the wintertime. It's also a good time because you get to wear baggy clothes. You don't want to wear tight clothes with brand new piercings, especially if they're body piercings or facial piercings or anything like that. So it's a really good time because you can wear like baggy sweaters or sweatshirts or things that are nice and warm but baggy. So I think it's a great time to get it done. If I were to get mine done again, it would definitely be in the winter time because that gives you plenty of time for it to hopefully heal by the time summertime comes around. Rebecca Ann 95 asks, can you get a conch piercing and still wear a face mask, or will it be irritated too much? I have a conch piercing. My masks that I use daily, never come in contact with it. Now I've had this conch for a while and it was like the most perfect piercing, hardly had any issues along the way, but I haven't noticed my mask snagging on it or anything because my masks all sit nice and snug right in that little groove where your head and your ear meet. So it shouldn't irritate it. It might a little bit more if it's a brand new piercing, but like from personal experience, my conch hasn't had any issues with face masks. B Hoffman 2121 asks, have you ever abandoned a piercing and then tried it years later and it went through? The only one that I've ever had that experience with are my second and third lobes. For the longest time, I didn't have anything in them. And then all of a sudden I decided I wanted to have that look again of 3 piercings on my lobes. Took a little bit of force to get the jewelry through, but it went through. It went through fine. It was a little red for a bit, but for the most part it was okay. But yeah, I didn't have jewelry in them for maybe 5 years. It was around 5 years or so, and they eventually went through. Cartilage you may not be as lucky with, but lobes were fine. The Basic Witch YT asks, I have my nostril pierced and would like to get my septum done. I love the look of both, but I'm afraid it will look too much on me. What was your reaction to getting yours done? Did you feel weird at first with so much going on in your nose, or immediately confident? Well, I never felt like there was too much going on in my nose. I think it depends on the jewelry that you pick. Like, because my nostril piercings are push labres, they're pretty much flush with the cartilage of my nostrils so that nothing is hanging down in my nostrils like you might find with an L-shaped or with a corkscrew. And my segment ring is so tightly fitted to the septum that none of them ever come in contact with one another. I could shove my pinky up my nose right now and never touch any of the, well, I might touch the jewelry, but it's not gonna feel like it's gonna get in the way or anything like that. Not gonna actually shove my finger up my nose because I don't need a screenshot of that. However, I could do that and it's not cluttered. So if you like the look, go for it, because I personally love it. I can't imagine my nose without it. Orla RJ asks, good places for a first tattoo. Not your friend's garage or kitchen? I know you mean placement, but it was too good, I had to say that. It really depends. You know, a lot of people tried to sway me from getting something on my wrist as my first tattoo. It was perfectly fine. All up to you. It's gonna kind of depend on your pain tolerance and everything like that, but that is a personal decision. So I am not gonna tell you, oh, you should go for da-da-da-da-da area, because what is painful on me may not be painful on you. What is painful on you may not be painful on me. All depends. But I am serious, don't get a tattoo done in your friend's garage or kitchen. Go to an actual reputable shop. Federica Giuliani 123 asks, how do I protect a fresh front shoulder tattoo from the sun? So I'm gonna assume you mean like here, like this area. Unfortunately, if you have just gotten a fresh tattoo like in this area in the summertime, you're gonna have to wear layers because you cannot put sunscreen on a fresh tattoo. It's just not gonna work. So you're gonna have to wear layers or wear a really big hat that like covers over your shoulders, but you're gonna have to wear clothing. There's no exposing that to the elements. Or you could just do like what I did with my plague doctor when that was first done and just put your hand over it the whole time. I did that several times. I just put my hand right over it and walk around. This part was on the side and I'd just be like, sun's not gonna get that, but I'll get my hand. That's actually a joke, kind of. Umbrella 9848 asks, I recently got my tragus pierced in early June. When will I be able to wear earbuds again? Basically, when your ear no longer hurts, doesn't get crusties, or doesn't look like it's infected or anything, I would wait minimum 3 months before trying to shove earbuds in there. For me, everything is minimum 3 months. before you try anything, but it all depends on how it feels to you. Candid Cam asks, straight versus curved bar clickers. Would you avoid using either a new septum or Daith Doth Pearson? So first of all, shout out to my bestie right there for asking a question. For me personally, for my septum, I prefer the curved. So like my septum clicker is a curved one. It just feels better in my nose. As for my Daith Doth, either one. I've had both before. I think I kind of prefer the straight one, but it really just depends on your preference. I haven't really noticed too much of a difference, except for sometimes when I have a straight one in my septum, I can feel the edges up toward my nostrils more, if that makes any kind of sense, because it's that straight instead of the curved. So the corners are actually like up there, but it's not enough for me to be like, oh my God, I'd never wear that kind of jewelry. It's just more I notice it, and then all of a sudden I don't notice it anymore. It's like when I first put something in there. I haven't changed my nose piercings in forever, so I don't know how I'd react if I changed them. It would feel weird. But yeah, that's my thing. For me, septum or Daith Doth. I'd wear either. Personal preference, really. It's up to you. JM Quintana 94 asks, is it normal to have crusty stretched ears? Because mine do not hurt, but are a little crusty. Depends on how recently you stretched them. Like if it was a recent stretch, then yes. If they're a little crusty, I would say that's normal. That's just your body healing from the stretching process. Now, if they've been stretched and at that size for a while, just up your cleaning a little bit. Use a little bit more like oil on there, jojoba oil, bio oil. Amy Mulkey asks, what's your opinion on people getting matching tattoos and would you get one with someone? So the second I saw this question, I actually sent it to my best friend and I was like, oh my God, how timely, because we're actually thinking about doing that. You know, getting best friends tattoos, something like that. We're not gonna get anything cliche or cheesy, so don't let anyone say that. We are definitely thinking about getting matching tattoos, similar tattoos to like commemorate our friendship, because we've been friends since 4th grade. It's been a hot minute. So we've been friends for a really long time. So we are thinking about getting matching tattoos. Also, my mom and I technically have matching tattoos because our little lotus on our finger, it's in the same spot, it's the same design. So technically I have a matching tattoo with my mom, but that's such a generic design that it's like I could have a matching tattoo with anyone really. But yes, my best friend and I are currently in the process of coming up with a design for best friend tattoos. Planner Anna 93 asks, any tips for changing your tragus by yourself? Don't. I'm just kidding. The tragus is a really tricky one to change. I have found that taking tweezers sometimes helps. I mean, you really gotta get a good angle to like get it in there, and then sometimes the tweezers, it flips on, like the piece of jewelry flips and it makes it difficult. The tragus is a tricky one to change. LOTR Gecko asks, what do you think about ear tattoos? Meaning tattoos on the ear, not tattoos of ears. I totally giggled at that. Believe me, I wasn't thinking about ear tattoos as in tattoos of ears, but you know what, if that's your thing, go for it. As for getting tattoos on your ears, I think they can be really cute. I've seen like little flowers or anything. I know the designs can't be massive. I think they're cute. Not sure I would personally get one, but I think they can be cute. You just can't get like detailed design. It's gotta be pretty basic. Demka Belikov asks, what's next for your tattoos? Also, would you ever pierce your eyebrow? So I'm gonna answer the second question first. Yes, I would pierce my eyebrow. Will I? Don't really know, but I'm not against it. As for what's next for tattoos, that is an excellent question. I'm currently considering for this arm, so this is like my macabre death dark arm. I don't know why, it only has a crow and a skull and a plague doctor, so really it could be anything, but that's what I'm calling this arm. I'm thinking about getting a tarot card here on my inner arm. I'm also thinking about, if you know the band Ghost, if you haven't noticed my sign that never changes back there, that's a lyric from the band Ghost, one of their songs. I'm thinking about getting the mask of one of the nameless ghouls in the band and like just getting it as a little filler somewhere on this arm. As for my animal arm over here, I really want a raccoon, but I don't know like what I want him to do. Like maybe eating grapes or something like that. It'd be so cute, but I really do want that at some point. And I need to get like a filler down here sometime. Don't know what though. But that's my main thing right now, is I'm definitely looking at getting a tarot card. Probably should figure out what tarot card, but that's what I want to do. And that is it for the questions for this Body Mods Q&A. I tried to make this video short. It wasn't. I'm so sorry. It's been over 35 minutes since I started filming. Hopefully I can get that down Sorry. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. Leave them in the comments below if you have a question for next month's Q&A, or go on over to my Instagram and ask me there. Also, if you have any advice for any of these people that ask questions, leave them in the comments below. We would all appreciate it. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big ol' thumbs up. Go on down there and hit that subscribe button, wherever it may be, because I don't know. Even though I do, this is just my shtick now. Also hit that notification bell in case you want to know when I upload, and in case YouTube wants to let you know when I upload, because I would really appreciate it. And until next time, bye guys.